This is our 5th video in the Graphite Mastery series. So I have shown all the process without any cuts so that it will help you to improve your drawing skills. For your notice, I have started my drawings through the YouTube channel. I have practiced whatever they are saying. This is my way of giving back to the community. After I learned it from the professional, I'm just sharing the process with you so that you will start your journey from this. I want you to get aspired. I want you to start the graphite journey. I'm trying to make it organized so that it will be useful to you and you don't need to search from random artists. If you are practicing, you will definitely get the results. I'm sure. You see it, you observe it, how I am shading, and definitely you want to practice it. That is the main thing you have to do to improve your skills, because art is not just observing, it is practicing while observing. And definitely art can heal anything. Let's get into the video. Using HB pencil, I'm just marking the outlines very lightly, as we always used to do. By this, you can see I'm using the overhand grip method, the way which I was holding. So like this, I have completed my outlines. I'm using a kneadable eraser to erase that. If you are a beginner and you don't know how to use a kneadable eraser, you don't know what even a kneadable eraser is, say that in comment section so that I can help you with my upcoming videos. Later, I'm marking the dark portion using a 10B pencil with a sharp tip. Then I'm using a 8B pencil to mark the middle portion. Also just mark the right corner also with a base value of 8B. Once you marked, it's time to shade inside. With the base value of 8B, I started to shade inside. Shade without leaving any white spaces so that the blending will be smooth. Once I have completed, I just increase the darkness of the outline a little bit dark comparing to the center portion. Also, I am adding the layers to increase the darkness wherever I need it. As I am not satisfied with the darkness of the outline, I am using a 10B pencil to mark the dark areas. Again, in realism, this thing mostly happens. If you are not getting the satisfied result, you have to repeat the process again and again. Once completed, blending with a soft brush that's having the loose bristles. Once completed, again I am using a soft brush with tight bristles to make it dark. That's the use of the tight brush, it increases the darkness. Again I am using a 10B pencil in the upper part of that portion. Whatever you do, don't forget to blend it with a brush. Let's move into the next area. I am using a 8B pencil to mark the outline of the upper portion. After marking the outline, I am just starting shading inside the portion. Here I am using a HB pencil with a very light pressure and I am shading inside. Once completed shading, don't forget to mark the outlines a little bit dark, because that's going to define your object. I am just increasing the darkness in the corner. Slowly I am working on the other corners too. I am just mixing the layers so that I can get a hard edge. In the next part, I am going to increase the value, the overall value, to a little more dark using the same HB pencil, or you can use a 2B pencil also here. Once completed, take a brush with a loose bristles and just blend the layers. I am also using a brush with a tight bristles to increase the darkness in the corner and also for seamless transition. I am using a 2B pencil for marking the outline in the top portion. Okay, now I just started to work in the background so that the drawing will be catchy after completed. You can also miss this part, but if you feel it was important, you can do that also. You can take a 2B or 4B pencil and just shade a little bit. After that, you use a tissue paper to blend that. Later, I am using a HB pencil with a very light pressure. I am just shading the upper part. Once completed, just blend it with a brush. I am using the brush with the loose bristles. Make sure you are giving it even and not creating patches. I am using an 8B pencil above it to create the hard edge again. You can just repeat this process until you get the correct values and also the smoother layer. So I am going to use an 8B pencil for marking the outlines of the right bottom portion. Just going to make a sharp outline. Once completed, I also started to shade inside using the same 8B pencil. Not much dark, but with a base value of 8B. As you can see, I am increasing the darkness close to the turning point because that area doesn't receive much light. I am just using the same 8B pencil for the bottom portion too. I just mark the outline. Oh yes, we forget to blend, right? Just take the brush and just blend it. I am using a 4B pencil. I am just shading the layers for the middle portion. I am not going to give it evenly. Wherever I feel it is more dark, I am just going to give that. And for the other areas too, I have just give the basic value. I have created this intentionally to make look some areas dark. I mean patchy. Once completed, as usual, blend it. Can you see that patchy look that our shading has created? I wanted that exactly. So again I am shading and I am filling the white spaces right there. And I am also repeating the steps until I get the value correct. I am using a 8B pencil for just making a shadow look there. Also I am using a 6B pencil to make the outlines look dark. Once completed, just blend it with a brush. So I have also marked the outline of the outer edge of the bottom portion and I have shaded inside using HB pencil. Later I am blending it with a tissue paper as it was a very light layer. And I am just increasing the darkness of the outline using a 8B pencil. Once completed, just blend it with a brush. I am using a brush with the tight bristles to make it look dark. As you can see, I am adding the background. As I previously said, it is optional to make your drawings more catchy. I am using a 6B pencil for making that. I am using a cross hatchings to bring even layers. In the right side, I am using a pencil which is lighter than the left side. Maybe you can use 4B, 2B, HB pencils. And for blending smoothly, I am using a tissue paper for that. Yes, at last we can make the highlights. I have used the DOMS eraser for that. That's all. I'm adding the final touches. So by this, our 5th video of this Graphite Mastery series has been completed and you got insights from this. So if you are practicing, don't forget to mention your drawings in my Instagram channel so that I can see and give feedbacks to your drawings. And say that in comments whether this video is being useful to you or not. I will be very happy if you are mentioning your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you.